Hey guys, what's going on? It is December 11th, almost 7:15. A little longer than I wanted to put up another podcast episode. Just a lot of stuff going on, but I definitely want to make an effort. I know I said this before, but I really have to make this effort to post at minimum once a week. Um, you know, Commenting on every Raw and SmackDown, every AEW, probably too much. Um, but there's definitely stuff that happens in between. I mean, there is so much stuff to talk about, so much, and I wanted to do it last week. As I said, just didn't get the chance to do it. But there was just so much going on with Sami Zayn, the Bloodline storyline, the little scuffle apparently that happened with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, where we go with Bray Wyatt, uh, The Rock, Riddle, Randy, just everything storyline wise, what's going to happen going into a Royal Rumble and also leading to WrestleMania. Recently, the news with Sasha Banks, MJF being the new AEW champion. Um, a small blurb about Jeff Hardy. So just a lot of stuff just going on in the wrestling world right now that I wanted to get a chance to comment on. I'm not going to do all this video. I'm going to split it up. And the big thing I'm going to talk about, at least for right now, because I just saw it today. So this one is going to be about AEW. And I wanted to come on after I saw that promo that Ricky Starks and MJF had this past Wednesday. And I have mixed feelings. I wanted MJF to be the champion. I thought they could have dragged it out slightly a little more. I just thought it was very predictable that he was going to win. But nonetheless, that he won. You saw what happened with William Regal. That William Regal is obviously, I should say obviously, but apparently is WWE bound. He had it written in his contract somehow that if he was ever able to go back, he could go back. And I thought I saw Tony Khan say something about a year. And if a year has gone by already that he's been there, that's a quick year. But there was criticism that, nobody was listening to Regal, nobody was soaking up the knowledge, so to speak. And it came out that that necessarily wasn't true. It wasn't a mandatory meeting, that not everybody was out at ringside listening to him or whatnot. But it's interesting that that comment came up because guys like Christian, guys like Mark Henry, guys like Big Show, Taz, and definitely now that William Regal was there, I was expecting to see some sort of change in the product. Some WWE esque, you know, psychology or just some sort of feel to it. Because the biggest criticism that Mark Henry would make or Randy Orton would make a big show about NXT was that nobody slows down. You're not selling anything. You do a super kick, the guy comes up and does like an exploder suplex, you pop up and then do a drop. Where's the selling? And I can't argue that. Sometimes it's like, dude, if I know you can't see me, but I'm doing, air quotes. If you just, kick me in the face, the odds of me striking you that quick, somewhat slim to listen. You might find a guy who has a strong chin that can take it and might be able to get a quick shot in on you, depending on how close wherever you are, and then fall down. But it's just, when you just see that back to back to back hits, it's like, dude, you just got hit with this. Technically you shouldn't be fucking moving. You know what I mean? So I even questioned then, well, what is the point of having guys like Big Show and Mark Henry and Regal there if we're still getting the same thing? So maybe it's best that Regal's leaving, maybe it's not. But the advice of the old school guys, to me, is not being adhered to. And right now, to me, AEW is still trying to right the ship. They're trying to find their way. And what are we on going on now? The fourth year with them, 3 or 4 years. Correct me. I think it's 3 or 4 years we're going on with them. And we've said this before that the roses off the bloom, or however that saying goes, that you're expecting more. And as much as Eric Bischoff will criticize AEW and Tony Khan, he is not incorrect. Tony Khan and AEW are not growing their audience. Maybe they'll crack 1 million, then they fall again. When are you going to get to, 1.5, 1.7, 2 million, 2.1, 2.3, and stay there on a consistent basis? Now, you might say, WWE, they're not growing their audience because they're pretty much capped at, 2.3, 2.5, range. Sometimes they go below 1 million depending on it. But hey, they're not really doing much either. But you can look past that because WWE is so far ahead of AEW. And now, with, as I have mentioned in the past, Warner Brothers, taking over everything, there's not a guarantee that AEW is going to remain on TBS. It's not a guarantee about that. So when you want to prove to these people that you have a product that people want to see, because if you get kicked off of TBS and TNT, where are you going to go? And the other criticism that I had was that there was too many belts. They have a bloated roster that they don't know what to do with. And you have some disgruntled people. Right now Miro's out hurt, but I think they said he's healed up. But, he was somebody who was disgruntled. Il Diablo, or the former Andrade, forgive me for not pronouncing the AEW name correctly, there was frustration on his part. And I think part of it was that there's this expectation that with AEW, you can come in and, maybe saying writing your own ticket is taking it too far, but you thought you had a little bit more control of what you had in WWE under Vince. And now you have some people who are secretly saying they want to leave because it's not what they thought. And now that Triple H is in charge, they really want to go back. So just watching that promo between MJF and Ricky Starks just made me look at, this is right. MJF needs to be the champion, and MJF needs to be the champion for a long time. You need to have if I am correct in this is the first time that a homegrown heel has held on to this title. I know Adam Page has had it, but Chris Jericho, Dean or Moxley, come on, they were WWE guys. Okay. Kenny Omega, okay, he was the creator. I guess you could say, okay, I mean, he was a New Japan guy, but somebody like, Adam Page, to me, is the first babyface of them taking that title. He's not an EVP or anything like that. He's a guy that came in, committed himself to the company, and it's doing what he, and became the champion. So to me, he's the first babyface champion under the AEW umbrella. And I know I could be challenged on that with Kenny Omega. But MJF, to me, as I said, is the first homegrown. And now you can say, well, if you want to get technical with the homegrown thing, fine. But I'm going to go with it. This is your AEW guy who didn't come from a big promotion. This is the guy who was there from the very beginning, who is now your champion. Who cuts unbelievable fucking promos. And I'm sorry, as much as I respect the Miz, he would blow the Miz away. I'm sorry. He would blow the Miz away. If they did a one-off, or if they did like a promo off or whatever, and listen, if MJF ends up in WWE, I am quite sure, if this happens within the next, I think he said he signed a 5-year deal, a 3-year deal. So if the Miz is still there in 3 to 5 years, you'll definitely see those two cross paths. But who would deliver the more stinging promo? I think it's MJF, not The Miz. But listen just to that promo. Because I've never seen MJF in person. Never. I don't go to Long Island, so listen. I don't know if the way he acts is him 100% of the time. That he really is that much of an asshole. I have no idea. If you ask Sherry Shepherd, she said that she met him one time before he became, this popular, and he was an asshole. So I don't know, but if he is like that, it's working for his character on TV. The passion that comes out, because he's very passionate about the wrestling business, and he believes what he's saying, and that's what just adds that, that love for it, or the enjoyment as you as a fan watching it, because he most likely believes 99% of what he's saying, or 100% of what he's saying, and knows how to get the reaction out of the crowd. And I think keeping him the champion for a long time will, to me, help bring stability. Start building up your baby faces to get the excitement. Okay, will Wardlow kick this guy's ass and take that title? Will we get a surprise? Could we actually believe that Orange Cassidy might be able to beat him for the AEW championship? Could we believe that Darby Allin could do it? Obviously, Ricky Starks not winning this time, but down the road, can Ricky Starks win? If you put Keith Lee, it's a guarantee. Keith, look at the side. Keith will kick his ass, but then he gets, and then just build that anticipation. That's what I think this is. You need MJF to help get more eyes on TV, because he will bring the eyes to the TV if you portray him correctly and showcase him correctly. That's what I really meant to say. Showcase him correctly. You will help bring back that stability that is needed. Because Jericho just did an interview not too long ago, just talking about how there's just been this black cloud over AEW ever since this shit with CM Punk. But to me, you've always had that cloud before Punk came, because I think Jeff Hardy brought that cloud onto you. There was a lot of excitement with Hardy coming in, and then we see him fucked up during that match with Jesus Christ, the name of him right freaking in front of me. The guys from the Elite, Matt Jackson. Oh my God, I can't fucking think of their name for some reason. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on them. Yeah, I'm actually Googling it right now because I can't believe that it's that I'm drawing a blank on these guys, on the guys. Young Bucks, Jesus Christ, the Young Bucks. Oh my God. When Jeff Hardy was having a match with the Young Bucks, and how terrible he looked on it, and then you gotta take him off TV. You fucked up the whole thing with Wardlow. Then you had this shit with Sammy Guevara. You had this shit with him with Eddie Kingston. Then you had this shit with him with Andrade. He has some maturing to do. Then you had that Aleister Black wanted to leave. Or the rumor that he wanted to leave. And then, of course, you had the CM Punk shit. It's like you just had bad shit after bad shit after bad shit after bad shit. And yeah, you had that dark cloud. Now, CM Punk amplified it, but it was there already. But yes, now it seems like, okay, we can now move past it. And I think MJF is the right person to help lead the company past that. And who you feed him matters as well. Great start with Ricky Starks. And then let's see Darby Allin. Let's see a Keith Lee. We can go back to an Adam Page, but looks like he's going to be busy with Jon Moxley right now. Let's see a Jungle Boy. Let's start building up your guys and give them a little more oomph So we could really have something compelling like, okay, can this guy do it? And because MJF is a heel, it is possible that, you know what? You could take the title off him pretty quick and then just watch how he gets it back. You could do something like that. But this is the guy who will steady that rocky ship and hopefully bring more eyes. You know, relying on Mike Tyson, you know, if you want to use a celebrity, I'm sorry, Mike Tyson's not the one to use. I'm sorry. It's not. You know, Triple H was smart. Or Paul Heyman was smart. I mean, apparently it was Paul Heyman's idea, was it, to bring Logan Paul in. But somebody like a Logan Paul, that would really have helped AEW. Because look at the market that he caters to help bring those eyes to you. You know, you can't reach into that well of a Mike Tyson anymore. Who cares about Mike Tyson at this point? Who gives a shit? I don't hate Mike, but who cares? What's exciting about Mike Tyson right now? The women's division is terrible. Yes, Soraya is back. And to me, the highlight of AEW's women's division is Britt Baker. To me, everybody else sucks and is boring. That Jade Cargill, my God, is boring. And the 43-0, whatever, the streak, it's just not exciting. It sucks. Who gives a shit? It just sucks. Who cares? Because you're not making me care. And she's just boring. The women's division there just sucks. Which now leads me into now saying that apparently, rumor, that Sasha Banks is done with WWE. I guess whatever talks they had fell through, and now she's AEW bound. Listen, we all know that Sasha Banks can be a brat. Tony Khan seems to like to cater to certain people, much like Vince. But I think somebody like with Sasha, that's going to backfire his ass if it's true. I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea to bring her in. I mean, it's probably going to help to bring her in. But I just think it'll be more trouble than it's worth. At least in WWE, because you could be saying, well, listen, what's the difference when she goes there and what happens when she goes to WWE? She'll still be a pain in the ass. Yes, but I feel if she went back to WWE, she would have to eat some humble pie. Under Vince, for sure, she would have had to. But I think in Triple H's way, she would have to eat some humble pie first. Because of how she left. And I did a whole thing on that. The way she left was not the right way to leave. But if she goes into AEW, she really has nobody to apologize to. She could just come in thinking her shit don't stink and probably start turning people off, which I think she would do because I just think she has a shitty attitude. But is this going to be the spark to help the pitiful women's division? I hope. You know, I always look on Bleacher Report, you know, that whole grading thing that they do for the episodes of the pay-per-view. I'm going to tell you something. Unless Britt Baker's in the match, a lot of these women matches that these guys rate them, it's always like a C, a C minus, a D. I hardly see an A. And I rarely see a B. It's always a fucking C. And even the matches look sloppy at times. So maybe Sasha can help steer and anchor that, but I just think her ego would get in the way. And I wouldn't be surprised that this is all a big if. If she goes to AEW, I would not be surprised that probably, depending on when she shows up, let's say she shows up after the new year. It wouldn't surprise me maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months after it, you're already going to hear complaints that she is just a toxic presence in the locker room. Because remember, when CM Punk came in, it's great, he's older now, he's more mature, he's much more personable, he's hanging out with the younger guys, and look what happened. And I can see that same shit happening with Sasha Banks. Without a freaking doubt. I can see that happening with Sasha Banks if she goes there. And it would probably be on Britt Baker, because to me, Baker is the leader of that women's locker room. It would probably be on Baker to probably put her in her place. But you got to do something with that women's division. So you have the AEW women's title. Oh, that's the other thing. So Thunder Rosa apparently relinquished the title. So now, Jesus Christ, what's her name? Jill Hager? The fuck's her name? God, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. AEW Women's Champion. Hater. I was right. JB Hater. I almost said Hager. I'm thinking about Jake Hager, but I was close. JB Hater. Now she's officially the women's, champion. We're dropping the stupid interim thing. Again, why do we have this interim? It's stupid. If the person cannot compete, cannot wrestle, take the title off of it and either award it to the next person or not award, but have the match and don't call it a stupid interim. It's stupid. It's meaningless. Why would you fight for something that is temporary? This doesn't make any sense. So when CM Punk was gone and Moxley was an interim champion, you're passionate about defending something that's temporary? Stupid. And how long after Thunder Rosa won? How long do we have to wait for this magical decision to finally happen? So if Roman Reigns gets hurt, the next person is going to be the WWE interim Universal World Champion until he comes back? No. They're going to say, unfortunately, Roman Reigns is hurt. He's going to be out of action for up to a year. And we're going to have a tournament to name the new champion. Is that going to be, well, Roman's going to be out for, 6 months. So we're just going to have an interim champion. My God, who came up with that stupid idea? Oh, my God. And that's what just kills it. Just stupidness. Yes, Vince and WWE and Triple, they've done some stupid shit. I did a whole rant about the whole cash-in with Austin Theory. It was stupid. But, they've done a million other things correctly that you can, after you have your rant, you can look past it. But you can't look past that shit. An interim champion. What? Even JR thought it was stupid. How is that prestigious? How is that worth fighting for? AEW needs a lot of help. And hopefully this is their way to do it. Now, the news about Jeff, I believe he's supposed to be having his court date soon because he did ask for it to be pushed back. And then we'll see what happens out of this court date. I mean, Matt's saying he's doing well. I mean, that's his brother, obviously. That's what he's going to say. But you do hope that Jeff is getting better. And Jeff will be able to come back to hopefully salvage what is left of his career. Now, he hasn't had a bad career. It's just you don't want your career to end on that note. As I've said before, Jeff doesn't have a lot of time. And Jeff has to prove that he can stay clean. But how long is that going to happen? Once all of his legal stuff is taken care of, what is the conversation with him and Tony Khan? Is it, okay, Jeff, I need to see another year. I need to see another 2 years. But as you put that time on him, that's more time he's away from the ring, more time he's getting rusty, and more time that he's getting older. Jeff wrestles a pretty rough style. And I feel that's what shaved some time off The Undertaker. Because Taker started doing, again, I'm doing air quotes, the Jeff Hardy style matches. He did that. He did the match with Edge, a TLC match. He was doing Hell in the Cell matches. Going through tables like that. And look at Jeff. How many swantons has Jeff done off of ladders? How many times has he flipped off the top of the cage and landed or something? That's rough on your body. And when Jeff was in WWE, he really wasn't that high flying when he came back. Yeah, he would hit his whisper in the ring stuff, but he wasn't. He did tone himself down a little bit. So I hope that Jeff can come back, because I think that will help bring add some diverseness to their tag team division. Because how many times can we keep seeing, Death Triangle versus the Elite? How many times? And now you're getting 7 more matches. I mean, after this, that has to be it. I mean, shit. There was a point where WWE got the point, okay, it's enough with The Rock and Triple H. They got the point. So we can't keep seeing Death Triangle and the Acclaim. I'm sorry, not the Acclaim, the Elite. I was getting to the Acclaim because I do like the Acclaim. I think they're a great act. I like their style. I think they're great. But I think they're somewhat overshadowed, because their crowd reaction is a lot better than that of the Elite, I think. But to me, they're somewhat overshadowed because, again, you have a tag team champion, then you have a trio tag team champion. So which one are we devaluing? Are we taking away from the Acclaim and their titles? Or is the Acclaim supposed to take away from the Elite, the that triangle, triple trio tag team champions? Again, stupid. Stupid. I know you have a lot of threesome teams, but hello, again, there's something called the Freebird rule. You don't need to have a separate set of titles. And if that's the way you want to say that, that's how we're going to differentiate ourselves from WWE, it's stupid. Just like your interim shit is stupid. Now you have your second tier titles to the AEW championship, and you have your secondary titles to the AEW Women's Championship. Fine. And if you want to add a women's tag team title, fine. But then don't sit there and add a women's trio tag team title. I swear, just sometimes AEW just makes my head hurt. They just make my head hurt. There's just some of that shit that they do that doesn't make fucking sense. But then the flip side of it, they can bang out some decent matches sometimes. FTR and the Briscoes, the dog collar match was great. If you're queasy with blood, you probably didn't like it too much, but it was a great match. But they gotta tighten their shit up. That's what AEW needs to do. They just need to tighten it up. And I think at the top, having MJF there will definitely do it. So let's see what they do with MJF. Let's see if they can really do this right. And, I think they will, because MJF is not going to let himself be, put in a bad position. So I think he's going to be smart. I think he's going to be okay. And I am excited. For it because, I mean, I'm not one to critique somebody's wrestling. So I'm not going to say he's a better talker than a better wrestler. But I definitely enjoy when he's on the mic. So let's see what happens. But that's going to be it for this episode. AEW. Stay tuned because there's going to be more. Going to talk about Sami Zayn. And they've thrown out there already what I had mentioned before about Roman defending the title on 2 nights. But the reason why I wanted to come on before was because after Survivor Series, so if you're in New York, you know there's a radio station called WFAN. On a radio station, it's Evan Roberts. And Evan Roberts is a big wrestling fan. He does podcasts as well. And that's where I got the whole reaction thing from after pay-per-views. He does an instant reaction to the pay-per-views. And he threw out a very interesting concept. Now, shortly after he came with this concept, WWE it was reported what their plans are for Sami, so that prediction is not going to come true. But it was a very interesting and compelling idea of what they could do with Sami Zayn. So that'll be on my next podcast, but I have a report that I have to finish for school that I have been dodging for almost a month. So I have to finally do this because it's due this coming Saturday, and I have to deliver this to my group, and I know they're waiting for it. So I have to go take care of that. But stay tuned. Another episode is going to drop this week, that I promise. And enjoy the rest of your night.